Hello dear students, welcome back to my science class. Today I am going to teach you a very interesting topic, that is transportation in animals and plants. Today we are going to discuss mainly human circulatory system. So let's get going. You are watching the channel Learn Science with Munmun ma'am. Components of circulatory system. There are three main components of human circulatory system: blood, blood vessels and heart. Now we will learn one by one about each and every component of circulatory system. Composition of blood. Blood comprises of mainly plasma and blood cells. Plasma is the liquid part of the blood which contains many important materials like nitrogenous waste, electrolytes, gases, amino acid, nutrients and proteins like albumin, fibrinogen, globulin. And there are three kinds of blood cells: leukocyte or WBC, platelets or thrombocytes, erythrocytes or RBC. Leukocytes or WBCs are again of two types: granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes are of three kinds: neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils. And agranulocytes are of two kinds: lymphocytes and monocytes. Children, you just keep knowing the names, okay, so that you can be familiar with the terms. Components of blood. Just now we have seen that blood is mainly comprises of plasma and blood cells. 55% of the blood contains plasma and rest 45% contains blood cell, amongst which 44% is red blood cell and only 1% together platelets and white blood cells. So what is plasma? Plasma is the liquid part of the blood which carries everything else. Just now we have seen it carries water, ions, different proteins, nutrients, nitrogenous waste and dissolved gases. Plasma is a straw yellow colored fluid. If everything in the plasma was removed, plasma would look like this. RBC or erythrocyte. They have a flat disc shape for a large surface area. Mature RBC do not have nucleus. They contain hemoglobin which combines with oxygen in areas of high concentration to form oxyhemoglobin. Just like this, oxygen plus hemoglobin forming oxyhemoglobin. You know, hemoglobin carry oxygen to different part of the body with the help of RBC where it is present. Red blood cells carry oxygen to the cells of the body for use in respiration. This is how mature RBCs look like: flat disc shape without nucleus. WBC or leukocytes. White blood cell helps the body to fight against the invading pathogen. White blood cells will engulf invading bacteria. They produce antibodies which can recognize and fight bacteria. They produce antitoxins which neutralizes the toxins that bacteria produce, which make us feel ill. So simply they are the soldiers inside our body. They fight against any kind of invading pathogens and kill them. We have seen that different kind of WBCs are there: granulocyte, agranulocytes, and granulocytes also having different types, agranulocytes also having different types. So this is different kinds of WBCs. monocyte, eosinophil, basophil, neutrophil, lymphocytes. You can see that our granulocyte contains no granules inside it, and granulocytes contain granules inside it like eosinophil, basophil, neutrophil. Platelets or thrombocytes. Platelets, also called thrombocytes, are a component of blood whose function, along with the coagulation factors, is to react to bleeding from blood vessels injury by clumping, thereby initiating a blood clot. Immediately after a minute injury, we can see that blood is clotting automatically. This is the function of the platelet. Platelets, along with other coagulation factor, help to form this kind of clotting. The job of platelet is to help blood clot and form a scab. The platelets are involved in the formation of fibrin, which is needed for clotting of blood. This is useful for stopping bleeding and for preventing germs from entering the body through the cut. This is very important point. This is how platelets or thrombocytes look like. There are three kinds of blood vessels: arteries, capillaries and veins. We will learn about one by one each of the blood vessels. To start with, arteries. Arteries received blood directly from heart. Flow of blood inside the artery is fast and at a high pressure. Thus, the walls of the arteries are thick, muscular and elastic to withstand the pressure. Elasticity enables artery to stretch and recoil, which pushes the blood in sparks and give rise to pulse. We can feel the pulse in the arteries. Blood moves along the arteries by contraction and relaxation of the muscles in the walls. Arteries branch into smaller vessels that are known as arterioles, which connect to the smallest vessels, that is capillaries. Okay. So, arteries directly receive blood from the heart, mainly carrying oxygenated blood. Inside the artery, the flow of the blood is fast and at a high pressure, so that each and extreme part of the body can get supply of oxygen properly. Okay. This is the structure of an artery wall containing smooth muscles, external elastic muscles and different other parts. Veins. Veins carry blood towards the heart. Blood pressure is lower than arteries. Blood flows more slowly and smoothly, so walls of the veins are thinner. Have internal valves that maintain unidirectional flow of blood. Valves are not present in arteries but present in veins. See the distribution of veins throughout the body. Difference between arteries and veins. You can see there is an elastic layer in the artery which is not found in veins. Valves are present there in veins, maintaining the unidirectional flow. Valves are absent in arteries. Capillaries. A capillary is a small blood vessel from 5 to 10 micrometer in diameter and having a wall of one endothelial cell thick. That means these are very minute, very delicate. They are the smallest blood vessels in the body. They convey blood between the arteries and venules. These microvessels are the site of exchange of many substances with surroundings. You can see artery branched into arterioles and finally branched into capillaries, and capillaries are joined to form venules and veins. Now this is very important, working of heart. The heart is a muscular organ about the size of a fist, located just behind and slightly left to the breastbone. The heart pumps blood through the network of arteries and veins called cardiovascular system. The heart has four chambers, two upper atria and two lower ventricles. The right atrium receives blood from the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. These two are the main veins of the body and pumps it to the right ventricle. The right ventricle receives blood from right atrium and pumps it to the lungs through pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery is the only artery that is carrying deoxygenated blood, where it is loaded with oxygen after reaching to the lungs. The left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the lungs through pulmonary vein and pumps it to the left ventricle. The left ventricle, the strongest chamber with more powerful contraction, pumps oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body through aorta. The left ventricle's vigorous contractions create our blood pressure. There are some valves present in our heart as well. These valves also maintain unidirectional flow of the blood. Tricuspid valve, which is present between right auricle and right ventricle to maintain unidirectional flow of blood from right atria to ventricle but prevent backflow. You can see that right auricle and right ventricle colored in blue because they are dealing with deoxygenated blood, and superior vena cava and inferior vena cava also colored in blue because they are dealing with deoxygenated blood. And left auricle and left ventricle, in between these two chambers there is bicuspid valve, also known as mitral valve. This is also maintain unidirectional flow of blood from left auricle or left atria to left ventricle but prevent backflow. There is a aortic semilunar valve that lets the blood go from left ventricle to the aorta but prevent the backflow. And there is pulmonary semilunar valve. Pulmonary semilunar valve let the blood go from the right ventricle through the pulmonary artery towards lung but prevent the backflow. So these are the valves present in heart. Working of heart. See, the heart is have four chambers, right? So complete separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Right auricle and right ventricle deals with deoxygenated blood. Left auricle and left ventricle deals with oxygenated blood. So, right auricle receives deoxygenated blood from vena cava. Number 1, vena cava from the body. Sent to the right ventricle, from the right ventricle through pulmonary artery. See, number 4, pulmonary artery. It's sent to the lungs where it is oxygenated. Now this oxygen rich blood through pulmonary vein, see number 3, is reaching to left atria. From the left atria to the left ventricle. From the left ventricle through the powerful contraction, aorta takes away blood to the entire body. Where the oxygen is used up, carbon dioxide is produced. Again, that carbon dioxide rich blood through vena cavas reaching to the right auricle, from there to right ventricle, from there through pulmonary artery to lungs, after oxygenation to left auricle, then left ventricle, then through aorta, entire body. So you can see two circuits are forming. Pulmonary circuit, also known as pulmonary circulation, and systemic circuit where the oxygenated blood is supplied to all body parts, systemic circulation. This is a very interesting as well as important point to note with. Pulse. Each time heart beats, it sets up wave of pressure called pulse wave along the main arteries. You can feel your own pulse. Heart rate is measured by stethoscope. In combination with sphygmomanometer, is commonly used to measure the blood pressure. So you can understand heart is such an important organ. Heart diseases, cause and prevention. Hypertension or high blood pressure. This is a very common heart disease. Now we can hear arteriosclerosis, hardening of the arteries. Atherosclerosis, narrowing of the arteries by deposition of fat that prevent blood to flow freely through the arteries. These are few common heart diseases or cardiac diseases. Causes: unbalanced diet, stress, lack of exercise, and smoking. Prevention: reduce consumption of items rich in fat and cholesterol, eat more healthy food, stay within ideal weight range by eating right diet, exercise regularly, don't smoke, and of course, reduce stress. Thank you.